Hi guys, DMFair here, and if you've seen this video, then you know that I've talked about, in a brief manner, how to go about treating how to save for a fursuit. Today I'm going to be going more in depth about what I was talking about, and some ways that you can regard saving a fursuit for yourself. Now, before we get started, I want to just slightly recap what I said before. You should start saving for a fursuit after you've taken care of all of your needs, like rent, food, car, everything like that. So at the end of the day, you need to split up all of your discretionary income. Everything that's just, your money to spend on whatever the heck you want. And you need to do it wisely. And that's what we're going to go over today. What's the best ways to do that? The first method we're going to talk about is the piggy bank method. Now, this is exactly what it sounds like. If you're someone who isn't good with keeping money in a digital format or in a bank, you can do it in a physical fashion by keeping a bunch of piggy banks and putting labels on them for the things you want. For example, if you want a fursuit, then make a piggy bank, put a fursuit label on it, and keep that somewhere. If you're someone who buys art a lot, just make an art piggy bank in general. Put art on it, put that somewhere, etc., 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 etc. And then just put money into the piggy banks as you go on until, they're full, and then open up, well, at least for the fursuit, until it's full. Then pull out all the money, count all you have, and see where you're at. That's one way of doing things. It's very crude, but it's a way. And for some people, it's a way that works. Another way is through banks. Now, I'm not talking about getting a loan from a bank, which you could theoretically do. You could get a personal loan from a bank for a fursuit, and then pay it back off later. But you have to remember, if you do that, you're going to pay the bank interest. So if you get a $3,000 fursuit, you might be paying the bank back $5,000 for that $3,000 you borrowed. I wouldn't go down that route. When it comes to a bank, what you can do is, if you have your checkings account and your savings account, you can start to dedicate part of your savings account to saving for a fursuit. And if you put it in your savings account specifically, most banks have discouraging policies from withdrawing from your savings unless you absolutely need to, usually some sort of fee. So if you put all your money for your fursuit in your savings account, you're not going to want to touch it. That's just another idea. Now, the next one is the PayPal method. Now, you don't need to put money into your PayPal to use PayPal. And PayPal likes to remind you of this all the time. However, you can. You can just put money straight up into your PayPal and use your PayPal like a bank. Now, I do this myself, where I just put money into my PayPal and save up that way, and I use it as a separate bank account. So, if that's how you like to do it, just doing things electronically, you can do that as well. The last method we're going to talk about today is what I like to call the Trello method. Now, for those who don't know what Trello is, it's a website/app that you can use to keep track of what you're doing in terms of purchases or commissions or just work in general. There are different categories for you to place things into, and you can even make your own categories. It's actually pretty useful. In a few moments, I'm going to show you some screen captured video from my phone of how I personally use my Trello. Now, you can set up your Trello in any way you want, but my personal recommendation is that you take everything that you want or need to purchase and put it in your Trello, organize it in varying categories of importance, and take care of them in a manageable fashion. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I organize my purchasing and spending and blah 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 via Trello. Now, most people use Trello for things like organizing commissions, but you can do more than that with this. So, here's Stuff. Stuff is where I put everything that I, do. So, you can see there are many things in the to-do column, a few things in the doing column, and not much in the done column. I'm kind of in the beginning of my doing season, I guess you could say. This paid off column is a little unique. This is for things that I have commissioned or something like that that's fully paid, but has not been completed by the person I have bought from. It's not in my possession, essentially. So anything being shipped or created that's in progress would be in this category. So to show you guys how this kind of works, in the to-do category, I have two things to move. The jester tag has to move as the person who has agreed to do the project has gotten in contact with me, and as far as I know, is currently working on creating the project. So that's going to doing. And eventually they're going to send me something to tell me how much I'm going to pay them. My Adobe payment, which is very important, is going into doing because the money is currently in my account and I'm just waiting for the day of the payment to come. Now, in the doing column for Tarpa October, aka Hallows Eve, I have paid for my ticket and hotel, so this can be moved to done, which makes me feel so much better. So that can be moved to done. And as you can see, I use these to color code everything. So I have things for Fursuit and Fursuit related, just art related, just things that have payments or payment based, other products like plushies or shirts or anything. Events or trips like anything that I might need for a fur meet or potentially a convention or anything like that, or just a vacation, whatever. And then I have low priority and high priority so that I know what really to focus on and what I can just put in the back of my mind and not really think about it. So, and as far as saving for Fursuit goes, then I have the Demon Ferret version 2 card. Now, as you can see, this is in to do and not doing, and that's because there's no money in this yet. I have too many things right now that I have to do before I can start this process. But what I have here are 30 $100 check marks for $3,000. And as you can see here on the bottom, I have the 4 makers who I believe would be able to do my project to the best efficiency from most favorite candidate to least. And down here, you can see I have a note for myself to tell me that at around $2,000, that's when I should start contacting these people to find out if they'd be willing to do my project or to see if I need to contact somebody else. And if none of these people will be willing to accept the project, then I just need to go completely off base and find someone else entirely. So having these things is extremely useful. And having it this way means that every time I check off 100, the 100 will disappear from the list. And this progress bar will continually get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's a good motivator. It's a nice way to see that your progress and everything you're doing is working. It's doing something. You're succeeding. So, if you want a way to organize everything you're doing, everything you want to do, I want Telegram stickers. I know the artist I want to get them from, but man, I don't need them. So, it's very low priority. Whereas, this Django full body art
is not low priority, it's regular priority because I'm going to be doing a video where that's going to be necessary. I can't really do the video, well, I could, but it wouldn't be as effective without that piece of art. So for me, that's a little bit more important than something that I absolutely don't need at all. Tarpaulin January, that's in January of next year. I do not need to worry about that right now. And these are ways that you can kind of organize yourself, thinking about it this way. So the priority things also really, really help. And then certain things don't, look just like the Django Full-Body, they don't have any priority at all because I either don't know their priority or there just isn't one. And then over here, just doing things. And my Adobe payment is of high priority because that is essential. It is essential for me to get that done. If I don't do that, I'm not going to be okay. I'm not going to be in a good place. And the same thing for Tarpaw October. I needed to get that taken care of now instead of later. So that was also a high priority, even though it's not necessarily an essential thing to my life. So there are reasons for everything. And it's a pretty nice setup, and I like it. So hopefully you guys can take a note from this and figure out your different saving ways. Maybe perhaps based off of how I do things.
You could also probably use Google Docs for this. And there are probably other ways of doing the same system, but it's what I believe to be the best system, is creating lists, categories, and sections so that you know what's going on, and you can not stress about things so much, and just calmly deal with things as they come, and eventually you will get to your goals if you stick to your plans. You just need to think out your plans properly. So that's my update on saving for a fursuit, and just different ways you can do it. I might do another update on this if I can find another topic that can be included into the saving for a fursuit category. So I'll see if this is going to continue. But for now, this is the second part, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!